Today we are making chicken, sausage, and bacon mini quiche. So right here I have 3 slices of bacon that I've chopped, some diced cooked chicken, andouille sausage, and broccoli, sharp cheddar cheese, Swiss cheese that I'm going to cut in small pieces, a Pillsbury dough pie crust or any pie crust that you have is good, and mini muffin pans. And I'm not going to fill up all of those muffin pans, but you'll see. Just keep watching. So now what I'm doing here is I am getting ready to fry my bacon, and I added a little bit of olive oil to the pan along with my chopped bacon because I want it to be pretty crisp. And as you can see here, it's crisping up really good. So I'm going to end up taking some of that oil out of the pan, but I'm going to leave some in there and then add some more because I am going to add my broccoli here to the skillet. And I'm using some of that bacon grease because I wanted to flavor my broccoli as well. I'm also going to add a pinch of salt and a little bit of pepper to the broccoli. And since this was frozen broccoli cuts, I wanted to heat it through and make sure that I just kill a little bit of the crunch. I didn't want it to be too soft, but I didn't want it to be too crunchy either in these quiches. So here I'm just removing the broccoli out of the cast iron skillet and adding it to my bacon. As you can see, it crisped up very well. And then next what I'm going to do is warm my andouille sausage and my cut cubed chicken. So I'm adding a little bit of olive oil to the skillet, and then I'm just going to add my chicken and my sausage and allow them to cook through just for about 2 or 3 minutes. This andouille sausage is pretty spicy, so I'm not going to add too much seasoning to it. I sprinkled in a little bit of garlic powder, and that's it. So basically I just want this to warm through a little bit, maybe add a little bit of skin on it from cooking, but not too much because it's also going to go in the oven. So here I'm adding my garlic powder, and then I'm going to toss that through and turned off the fire. Now here I have my 3 eggs, and I'm going to add a half a cup of whipping cream, and I'll just mix that in real good. And now next I have my pie crust, and I'm just unrolling the pie crust on a lightly floured surface. And what we're going to do is cut out circles so that we can make our crust. And I'm using a small shot glass going around the pie crust. And because those pieces are really too small for one crust, I basically just kind of patted them in together like so to make them bigger. So you take one crust or one piece of pie crust and you add it to the second on the edges and just kind of pat it together. And then later in the video, you'll see how I kind of stretched it out a little bit. And you got to be careful when you are getting those circles out of the dish, because sometimes out of the cup, because sometimes they tend to stick. So here I'm going to show you how to form your crust in the mini muffin pans. Now, you don't have to make mini quiche. I just think it's really cute, um, to see it come out, and it looks like little appetizers. But you don't have to do that. You can make a regular quiche just with a regular pie. And you can also make your own pie crust. I was just too lazy to do it, so I picked up one from the grocery store. But basically, what you're doing is you're forming them inside of the muffin tin, and they kind of look like little roses or little flower petals. And once you put it into the muffin tin and you push it down flat inside of the tin, then you can start to mold the corners or the sides. It's pretty easy. It could be tedious, but it's worth it because they're so cute when they're done. And the crust is so tender because it's kind of thin. So once again, you're just patting it together, and then you just stretch it out a little bit, and then push it down into the muffin tin. And then you can just shape it however. If you want a little bit hanging over, or you just want it to be even with the muffin tin, it's totally up to you. Now, because I knew that I wasn't going to fill up that whole bacon tin, I filled up the rest of the empty muffin, the empty muffin jar, not jars, but the empty muffin holes with water so that it wouldn't mess up my pan. And here I'm just going through and I'm filling in the crust with pieces of chicken and pieces of sausage. And since they're so small, you don't want to cram everything in there, but you want to make sure that every piece of quiche crust has the same thing in it. So I started out with the chicken, then I went with the sausage. Now I'm putting in the broccoli. And we're going to bake these for 20 minutes on a 300 in a 350-degree oven. So now I'm just adding a little bit of the cheddar cheese. This is one of my youngest daughter's favorite meals. She loves quiche. And I decided to do something a little bit different since Kobe wouldn't let us go outside and play. Everybody seems to be baking or doing home improvement. I'm doing both. And I decided, let me make something cute. So here I'm just adding that mixture. Now off camera, I added a little bit of black pepper to the egg and the cream mixture, and that's what those specks are. And I just filled it up. And now I'm going back to make sure that everything inside of the cups has cream on it. So I'm pushing everything down into the muffin cups to make sure that the cream is covering it, the cream and the egg mixture. Now I'm just topping it with bacon. And we're going to bake this in our oven at 350 for about 20 minutes. And this is our finished meal. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all having a great day and staying safe out